Hello and welcome to the No One Asked You podcast. For this particular series, I am joined by my wonderful co-host, That Darn Kitty.
Dorkus and I are both going into the story completely new with almost no knowledge of the story or world. Each segment will cover what happens in each new chapter while discussing our experience along the way.
This is The Hero of Ages. It's all in the pages, a blind read-through. And today we are covering Chapter 27.
Chapter 27!
Before we get into the chapter, a bit of an announcement, big-ish shift for the channel. There's been some good news for me, IRL. Unfortunately for the channel, it means I won't be able to dedicate as much time to it as I have up to this point. Now, before you get too worried, I'm not going to stop the channel altogether, certainly. Yeah, but in an effort to make it more manageable with my new schedule, we are going to switch the Hero of Ages format to the Way of Kings format. So we aren't going to be doing the readings of the chapters as we have been, because those do take a lot longer to edit than Way of Kings usually, because Way of Kings episodes tend to be a bit shorter. So I'm sure that's disappointing for folks who enjoyed the reading. I enjoyed doing the reading. I'm going to miss doing the silly voices.
Me too.
Yeah. But I think we'll still try and do the blind blinds as best we can with that format, because I can't imagine any other way to do them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. We'll try to keep as much of the nitty-gritty detail as we possibly can. Thank you all for your understanding. Let's get into the chapter, shall we?
Shall we?
We both called it, Kitty.
What, did we?
We each called a thing revealed in this chapter.
That there's a Mistborn?
No, you called that they would have opened the cache, that they found the cache.
Oh, yes.
And
yes.
And I called that the city would be the polar opposite of the other one, in that this would be the continuation of the Lord Ruler's empire, and they would be ignoring the end of the world, and they would still be having balls.
Yes, that is called it. Sorry, guys. Lapse in memory. Yes, indeed.
That was so exciting.
Mm-hmm.
And then this is the Cosmere chapter.
Yes, indeed.
We get a bit of Spren, and we get some Hoid.
Spren? Where do we get Spren? Hold up.
When Vin is talking to the first informant, he mentions the word Spren.
What? I don't remember reading that.
Really?
When did he say Spren?
It screamed at me. Let me see. We'll go chronologically, of course, but
yeah.
Let me see. He's talking about stories. And
how could it not have jumped out at me then?
The kind about monsters and myths. Long tales, some call them. Stories told by Ska around the fires. Whispering of mistwraiths, shades, spren, and brawlins and such.
Nah, you see, my edition does not have that.
Seriously?
Mine has mistwraiths, sprites, and brawlins and such.
Whoa.
I swear to you. It is that's my edition, guys. My edition is different. It is the, let's just check it out. Published in 2010, first published in 2010.
You've got the white cover with Vin on it, right?
Yes, with the blue, white and blue.
Cool. And then I've got the Tor Fantasy edition with the spike going through what appears to be a stone slab.
Yeah, mine says mine's a VG. Published by VG.
Well, considering our new change of format, in which I was expecting us to find less of these edition differences, I'm so glad we were able to find that one.
Yeah, that's a huge difference. So I guess it didn't want to. I think in this edition, that was just like, you know what? Let's only hint at Spren. Let's just say Sprite. You know. Yeah.
This did have me wonder if spren is a real-world term,
Mm-hmm.
and I've just been unaware of it, or if it is intentionally a Cosmere connection. I'm pretty sure it's a Sanderson word.
Yeah, if it does make sense that it's based on the word sprite
Mm-hmm.
and spirit. So even if it was a real world word, okay, well, if it is a real world word, nobody had ever used it in front of me.
Nor I.
Wait, it's spring definition. Just check here. Yeah, the definition that comes up is just all Stormlight.
Interesting.
There's
Good
no
to
like
know.
normal dictionary.com stuff. Yeah.
Cool.
Mm.
Okay, so first we've got the epigraph.
Mm-hmm.
It starts off as a continuation from the last one, in which Epigraph Man is talking about how Rashek was pulling from the various different cultures that he has conquered. So this wasn't a night and day thing. It wasn't him with his power setting up his empire. He still had to go through the process of conquering.
Mm-hmm.
Mine specifically says that the terrace stewards of Urton were taken late into his conquering of the world.
Mm-hmm.
The meat of the epigraph for me, though, was in its second paragraph with the line, "The fact that the Lord Ruler would base his church on a financial institution shows, in my opinion, that he worried less about true faith in his followers and more about stability, loyalty, and quantifiable measures of devotion."
Yeah. It makes sense to me. He doesn't need to be this deity, but as long as you obey him, he doesn't really care. As long as you do what he wants you to do,
Mm-hmm.
fine. He's not going to be in your room and being like, what are your prayers like? He's practical.
Right. He doesn't need them to believe so much as they act as if they do.
And this just makes me go like, you know what? We actually don't really know too much about. We do have one obligator, ex-obligator, I suppose, that we like actually, but this is a real obligator that we are dealing with as the ruler here.
Mm-hmm.
Even somebody that kept the faith. So I suppose we discuss that later on. We get that in the chapter. So I'm thinking, what would it even mean to keep the faith as an obligator? I don't think it actually would mean, you need the Lord ruler and you care about him as a god. It's more like, no, his principles are what you are.
You maintain the rituals.
Yes, yeah. That's what he means by sort of a faithful obligator.
Yeah, which is demonstrable in the king of this city, who has continued that. Oh, the other thing I wanted to mention about this was in the first paragraph, the continuation of the discussion of Rashek picking his favorite bits of different cultures. I was thinking a bit to myself, that's not wholly different from what authors do when creating worlds. Oh, I like that. I'm going to throw that in. I'm going to make a culture with this and that. It's like cooking, too.
Yeah, exactly. A bit of flavors.
Yeah. Anything else to say on the epigraph?
No, that's it.
Wonderful. The chapter starts with Vin infiltrating Fadric's city in the night. And immediately it highlights that she is now mist repellent.
Yes. It used to be close to her. It used to be around her skin. Now it's like a couple inches away from her.
Yeah. And the book describes the transition as gradual.
I want to see I want to know if Elend is also like that. Is it a Mistborn thing, or is it a Vin who went into the Well of Ascension thing?
Because I know that the previous books have made a point of highlighting this exact topic. We didn't really know what to do with it in the past, but I do know for a fact we called it out at various points. I am supposing it has something to do with the individual's connection, either to ruin or to preservation. if we're going with the theory that the mist is preservation, this might suggest that Vin has given herself over to ruin. But that doesn't quite seem to manifest in her behavior and her beliefs. She's trying to save the world, not destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't quite know what to do with that. Although I believe later on in this chapter, and I'll try to catch it when we get there, she does self-reflect on the black and white, the push and pull, the Valette Renault versus Vin
Mm-hmm.
that she has gone through over the past 3 books, 2.5.
Mm-hmm. I'm thinking, well, then there's a way to figure this out, though. I'm questioning, okay, how does the mist react to non-allomancers? Okay, what is that like? Does the mist also give an indication to non-allomancers, whether there are more ruinous or more preservation-ish? Not that we know which is which right now in terms of the mist. So that's what I would want to know, just to focus on that. Like have the clarity that, oh, the mist does just touch humans.
Mm-hmm.
Then also, I want to see what happens with the Inquisitors in the mist. Also, does this like turn off when Vin's earring is out? Because I'm trying to think of, in terms of Vin's having been given over to ruin and hemalurgy with that earring, right? Is she like become? That's why the voice is so small. Reen's voice is really, really small because we've just got the little earring. I would want to know. I feel like that's something that he's hiding there, or maybe it's a red herring. I don't know.
Sure.
Just so many questions about this mist ruin stuff.
You bring up important questions.
Mm-hmm.
I'm full in on the theory that Vin has been hemalurged.
Mm-hmm.
The Vinquisitor theory. I feel like we highlight the earring only because the book has emphasized the earring so much. I don't think it's impossible that she have some sort of spike, because this happened when she was a baby. She has some sort of implant that she's just completely unaware of as well.
Oh, okay. So it's not the earring that hemalurged her.
It could be either or is what I'm saying. I don't know.
Hemalurged is a word now.
Yes. I hemalurge, you hemalurge, she, he, we hemalurge. Vin does not wear a mist cloak, which is probably good for stealth reasons, I think, to be honest.
Yeah. She explains that it was like a repellent in the old days because it's like mistborn. That's what you're supposed to do. And you kind of get let go to go and do things. It's like, let's not mess with them. It's like a warning. But now things are a bit more real. We can't just stealth around and whatever. That makes me wonder about the symbolism, that this is who you are, Vin, stuff. And how much has changed. And then obviously we get into the valet thing.
Yes. She lands in the city after maneuvering around some guards who are not burning metal.
Mm-hmm.
She supposes that Lord Yeoman likely hasn't been able to find many, if any, allomancers for himself, since that's the whole reason Set left, supposedly.
Yeah, but that, for me, I'm like, wait a second. Yeah, Set couldn't find Mistborn against others. I understand that. But wouldn't that imply that the winner, I suppose Yeoman, would have allomancers? Like, I wouldn't take that as an exact, okay, yeah, there's no Mistborn around here, or there's no allomancers. She's maybe just giving an explanation for why she doesn't see any allomancers here. So I'm just, because I'm like, yeah, I understand you don't have, it's not so much that you don't have Mistborn to protect you, then it's like you just didn't have Mistborn to give you the edge in your battle for the city.
Right.
I'm just a bit worried about this whole assumption that there aren't allomancers here.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be interesting if there aren't, in a way. I think it would almost be more interesting that there not be, because that might lend even more weight to the act of assassinating Yeoman, which is not currently off the table. In fact, it may be more on the table than it was before when Vin learns that they aren't starving in the city, at least not yet.
Yeah.
And once we learn about what kind of leader Yeoman is, let's have a discussion on how well the city might take it if he is assassinated, because he seems to be well liked.
Yeah, but this is coming from somebody who's in a mansion or whatever.
Of course.
So we don't know what the Scar are feeling.
Sure. But, I mean, I guess we can have the discussion now. I think it would add more barbarity to the act of assassination. I mean, it's a very noble thing to do. One would think a city trying to uphold the ideals of the Lord Ruler would probably go along with an assassination. But
it's liberation,
Yeah, but more than that, I think in a way it might almost make Elend seem even more dirty. Especially if they don't have any Mistborn to
it's like they're unarmed.
Yeah.
Yeah, then it's like they're unarmed, they're not a threat, and they were just attacked. And also you're bringing instability where we had stability. We were over here, yes, we know, us on the outside know that you're ignoring the problems of the world. And he would be coming in here like breaking down the door and saying, listen, the world's ending, stop having balls. And they're like, no, that's actually what we wanted to do. Thank you. So yeah, I can see them definitely not reacting well to an assassination. This does make me, now we're talking, she does talk about, we'll get to it actually. I'll bring it up later about the balls.
Cool. So she's reflecting on the lack of Allomancers. Vin creeps past the guard post, and she's contemplating more or less the interaction that she had with Elend when they parted ways, which is to say she grew up on the streets, and that gives her a litheness that Elend will never be able to achieve.
Yeah, she's got instincts that he just won't have.
Yes, which is fair. She's making her way through the city, and she's like jumping down into it because it's surrounded by all of these higher terrain markers, yeah?
Well, she goes around, so she goes around to the back where the higher terrain is, and then she jumps down from it. So she stays away from the front. And it's like 100 feet. She drops 100 feet. Like, crazy stuff.
Yeah. Elend had called the city provincial, but Vin thinks it's actually quite big.
Yeah, it's sizable. It's got some Luthadel style things. So it's not Luthadel, but it's not mini Luthadel either. But it's not small. It's not as small as Elend thinks.
Yeah, and I really do enjoy her thinking about how Elend would have a skewed vision of what constitutes a big city.
Yeah.
There are several scums, there are several mansions, and 2 Luthadel-style keeps.
Scums.
Scums. Did I say scums?
Yeah.
Ska slums.
Yeah. A ska slum would be a scum. That makes sense.
It's in a way, it's mini Luthadel.
Well, yeah, it's mini Luthadel, but not. It's only got how many keeps that are like Luthadel?
2?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's just 2 keeps, so it's not like just a miniature version. There's some other styles as well. That's what I was thinking.
I would say this far in, with all the description we're getting, it's interesting, but I still don't feel like Fadrix has the same character as Urtio, at least not yet. And I think the comparisons to Luthadel will make it more difficult for Fadrix to stand on its own among cities with character.
We'll see, yeah.
The buildings are spaced out a bit more, and they tend to be flat. And there is a passage as she's going through one of the nicer buildings, one of the keeps. We get the passage, "For a moment she was taken back to a time 3 years before when she had attended balls in keeps like this one in Luthadel as part of Kelsier's plan to overthrow the final empire." That line there serves to reinforce what I had predicted, which is to say that mini Luthadel here is pretending it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, and it's like that's what it was like back then. You know, we just had we did have the prospect of bringing down the Lord Ruler in Vin's world, but she was just enjoying the frivolity of it as well. Just actually, for the first time, actually enjoying herself, enjoying her life.
Yeah. And as she's reflecting on that time in her life, she's also reflecting about what she did to destroy it, how she put an end to it. The exact line is she had helped to destroy it. And I think that is another line that plays directly into the opening of this chapter, which was her contemplating how the mists don't touch her anymore. So it could be subtle Sanderson trying to say, hey, she's of ruin now.
Yeah, she destroyed something. Yeah.
But she misses those times. She had been content.
It was a simpler time, actually.
Yeah.
Like you would think, whoa, hold on. You were trying to like plot the end of an empire and whatever. And it's just like, yeah, but the thing is, I think she also talks about they didn't have the burden of leadership or responsibility for the future. They were just, they were under Kelsia. It's a completely different feeling.
Yeah. I don't think to call this an allegory for growing up would be correct, but there is something very adult about these reflections that she's having. Yeah?
Yeah. You definitely have that. It's like having nostalgia for your youth when you just had less responsibility. It works.
Yeah. In fact, it goes on to say she had grown into a woman amid the collapse of the world.
Yeah.
She used to be scared of change, terrified of losing Ellen. And then she contrasts that against worries about what will happen after she's gone. What happens if Ellen's empire doesn't survive, if she fails to stop the end of the world? Those are much bigger problems to have.
Yeah. They're less personal. They're about legacy as well.
Yes. So she's making her way through or to one of the keeps.
These instructions from she's got instructions from Set. It's like they're very detailed. Like, oh, he's going to be on the balcony and he's going to this and that. Like, and I was just trying to think how long it took them. I suppose he had them prepared. I think I'm just nitpicking, but I was like, oh, okay, very detailed. I thought we were just going to have a list.
Yeah. Well, we'll get to it when we get to the first person. But I was going to ask about Set's relationship to this guy. But here is where we get the line. Was Valette Renault, the girl she had pretended to be at the balls, really a part of Vin, or no more than a fabrication devised to serve Kelsier's plot? It can be both, but also, again, it's emphasizing the themes. The themes are strong in this chapter.
Yes. And we did have, remember, in the previous book, the kind of like she when she went to the dress shop and that sort of thing, the confrontation of, oh, well, actually, I do like this. It's okay to like it. But she now going back into, she's back into this world. It's now becoming a question again.
Yeah.
Just like, oh, is that really me? It's like, you can enjoy prettiness.
Do you think we are going to, there's no way we're going to get Vin going to one of the balls as Valette, is there?
Not as Valette, no. That's quite interesting. It will be that she now goes as the Empress. That's what I'm thinking that they're setting up here. That maybe at a kind of way of diplomacy, they have to attend a ball, and Ellen goes in his uniform, and she has to go in a dress, and like, you know.
Because one of my takeaways from the yeoman is a good man discussion is there could be a legitimate pathway toward diplomacy. I don't think it's going to work out well. Honestly, I think things are going to get worse before they get better here. But I do think there could be a diplomatic attempt at the very least. And you're right. I think it would be the Emperor and Empress attending a ball. And that's going to make Ellen and Vin very uncomfortable, I think. Because they're going to be like, the world is ending. What are we doing here? Why are we wasting our time?
Yeah, I wonder actually how good it would be for Vin to wear a dress. Like, and go. Like, attending the ball is one thing, but then wearing a dress, I don't think would be appropriate. Like, stay in your kind of uniform. I'm making air quotes.
Mm-hmm.
Because that at least shows that you're not all the way in to this. Okay, you're like, fine, I'm doing my part here, but I'm not busy trying to look pretty for you guys.
Right. Very curious.
And sorry, the reason that I think that there is going to be a ball is because of this contemplation, all of this stuff that has been put in here, all of this thinking about balls and whatever, and who Valette was and all of that. That just makes me think, okay, we're going to have some sort of version of that coming.
I agree completely. She's thinking about how Ham and Demio are going to get military spies into the city, but they want to hear from Vin first, which is fine. And she's paying attention to the living conditions, and she's not finding any distress, any starvation or disrepair or anything like that. As far as she can tell, the city looks perfectly fine. And it's at that point that I know Kitty called it.
Oh, what? That the cache is open, so they have food.
Yeah.
I don't know if, yeah, I suppose if they opened it, then they would have food. Maybe, but I would expect the informant to talk about it, but maybe
he doesn't
he's
know.
just lied. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, Yeoman hasn't gone, wow, I found food for us. He's probably been like, I prepared for everybody. And,
right.
So nobody knows about the cache except for him.
Right. This does bring up the important question of Yeoman presumably knows what the Lord Ruler wrote on the plaques in there. Is he going to be willing to share that with Elend? Because in a way, I think that information is more important than the food and bringing Thadrix under his control. So there could be...
Yes.
It's like, I don't know, is he willing to leave in exchange just for that? Is Yeoman going to be willing to give up the holy words of the Lord Ruler?
Yeah, I think that is something that would be a cool turn, is that, listen, Elend, you can't save everyone. You can't control everyone. It comes down to they can stay here and do what they want. They won't get in your way. You get the words, which is that for me as well, is more important than anything.
I agree.
Yeah, get that, and then maybe it would be very cool if they were forced to leave this city behind. They can't save all of those people because they've chosen this kind of thing.
Yeah, stuck in the past.
And it's like, no, we prefer this, and fine. Or maybe at least then have some people allow some Scar to leave with them.
Nah. That's Yeoman's property right there.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's his property. You can't just steal from him. Oof.
Yeah. So she's going through the city. She has not found signs of mass starvation. She completes the loop and lands at the first area Set suggests, which is one of the mansions. And she hops up to the balcony where this guy is reading a book. Also, she doesn't like or trust Set yet, either.
Yeah, and I don't think you should. Because Set definitely, she's like, she doesn't trust Set because she worried he still bore a grudge for her attack on him. And it's like, I think, yeah, that's a pretty good bet.
Yeah.
If he found a way to stab you in the back, that's what would have happened.
Yeah. Although after Ellen's stern talking to, and now knowing Set's not going to be getting Thadrix back for himself, I feel like that's going to delay any revenge on his part until he has his own good territory from which to operate.
Or he's upset that he's not going to get his dues, so screw Elend and set Vin up to be killed.
Yeah, but I would hope he would have learned not to underestimate the two of them after the last book.
He's got such an ego on him.
Yeah. The informant's nickname is Slow Swift, which is interesting.
Yeah.
A bit contradictory there. So Slow Swift is just sitting there reading, and This feels like a scene I've seen before a couple of times, with the mysterious reading old guy and the impetuous youth who wants to get some sort of information, and the old guy's just like, wait for it. I'll be with you in
Yeah.
a moment, kind of a scene.
Yes.
It seems a bit textbook.
Yeah, I like it though.
Oh, yeah.
Also just the fact that he's unbothered by her, and she has to like clear her throat to be like, "Hello, can we get this going?"
Yep, and he's just like, I'll be with you in a moment.
And then he's got to try and figure out what kind of person this is. He's not just going straight to business. He's also very witty. I enjoy the whole interaction.
Yeah, and in theory, there's no way for him to have known that she would see him that night or come to see him that night. He thinks that Set is dead, if I recall correctly, and he might be able to estimate that someone would come to visit him by dint of the arrival of the army, but I don't think there's any indication that he was expecting her that night.
Well, he was out on the balcony, but then again, that just could be his habit. That's what he does.
True. Yes. That's the sense I got. Although how you're going to read in the mist, I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Like, there's no description of a candle.
Also, like, you're going to ruin your books.
Yes.
Oh, man.
It's a fake book. He's just sitting there with a blank book, like notepad.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's an intimidation tactic of some sort.
Yeah. Look how unfazed I am here.
Yep. He's dressed like a nobleman.
Mm-hmm.
He asks if Vin likes stories.
Yeah.
And we had already read this paragraph, but this is the one where he goes in about the Spren and the Brawlins and the Mistwraiths. The best kinds, of course. Vin says she doesn't have much time for stories, and I never got the sense that she was too into stories. That never seemed her thing, right?
Yeah, no, it was not so much about stories. Doesn't like reading, but she should be into stories because stories are going to be the answer. They're going to be the key
somehow
to solving all of this.
Yeah, I did get flashbacks to the Kaladin wit scene about stories here.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
I was expecting parallels. Slow Swift laments that fewer and fewer people seem interested in stories nowadays. And Sanderson uses the word fetish. It makes me wonder what is so alluring about the real world that gives them all such a fetish for it. It's not a very nice place these days.
I think that's probably towards the original meaning of the word fetish. Like it's that you like it.
I agree.
That's how I took it. Yeah,
I agree. It's for me
it's
at
a baggage word.
Yeah, it's such an uncommon thing for me to see in other contexts that I was like, Vin checks to see if he's burning metal, and dear blunt Vin gets straight to the point. She wants information.
Yeah, and he's still, chatty over here.
Yes. And Vin says,
I'll listen to a story if that's what it will cost.
There's no surer way to kill a story than to make it a cost, young lady. That's a belief statement. It speaks to...
make a story a cost. Yeah.
Yeah.
Listening to a story. It does come back later to... You have more of a shape of what he meant as well.
Yes, but on its own, it is such a belief statement. It speaks to such a high regard for stories.
I want more of this character, definitely.
I agree. I think we'll get more. I really do. Vin reveals that it was Set who gave the name, and Slow Swift is surprised to hear that he's still alive. And he reveals that Set is an old writing friend.
He's a poet, and Vin didn't know it. Sorry, everybody. I apologize.
The line Slow Swift says is, Set is one of the finest poets I know, child. We shared our work with one another for a good decade or so before politics stole him away. He didn't care for stories either. To him, everything had to be gritty and real, even his poetry. Seems like an attitude with which you'd agree.
The part that comes after this is so mysterious to me. Because Vin says, I suppose. To that she says, I suppose. And then he says, I find that ironic in a way you shall never understand. And I'm like, I don't understand it.
Yeah, when I first read through that, I tried to discern something in it.
Mhm.
And then I was just
Mm.
like, you know what? I'm going to accept it's a way I'll never understand, and it might not be elaborated on.
Yeah, exactly.
But what I wanted to say about this new quality of sets is so frequently Sanderson puts in so much effort, and he's talked about it in his lectures, to give characters interests outside of the story in the main narrative. And so I see that here.
Yeah. They were people before the narrative happened.
Yes. And it's not terribly clunky either. It's interesting.
Yeah, we find this out as a result of the narrative ongoing. It's not clunky at all. And especially because it's not just the informant going, Set is a poet. It's no, he's a writer, Set's a writer. It's no clunk detected.
Yeah. And I'm quite eager to see Vin bring it up with Set. And I want to see if he's going to be ashamed or proud or. I want to hear some Set poetry.
Mm-hmm.
So, interestingly, Vin does not have to pay up front for information. The first bit of information he reveals is that Yeoman is a good man.
I love Slow Swift's response to Vin's frown when he says that.
Yeah, he responds in kind of a condescending, what, do you think all your enemies are evil? You didn't think about that, did ya, huh? Huh, child?
Yeah. Exactly. It's very much the old man with experience saying, so you haven't learned that, have you? Is this how your world works? But Vin then explains, no, hold up. I married the guy that was supposed to be my enemy, so take that lesson. So.
Yes. So then he goes on to sing Yeoman's praises. He's a fine man, a decent king, and better than Set. Set tries too hard.
And that makes him brutal. So we know Set is brutal and cynical as well.
Yes.
So he goes hard, I suppose. Yeah.
Yeah. Slow Swift goes on to say that Yeoman kept the city together. He kept people to work. He kept them fed. He got the miners mining and the gardeners gardening, so to speak.
Yeah, he kept everything in its place. Yeah. Or put everyone back in their place after Set's turmoil, I suppose.
Yes. And he gave everyone what they wanted, which was stability. And at this point, I know that I had called it. There are still balls going on. This is the continuation of the Empire.
Status quo remains status quo.
Yep. Vin realizes that this isn't so entirely unlikely a thing, considering it's basically what happened in the last book.
They wanted Penrod and not Elend. Elend's a bit too new and a bit bold. They kind of seem to want to go back to this kind of comfortable place. I think they still wanted freedom, but at the same time, like they still needed people overhead. Like they still needed nobles above them.
Yes.
And this also echoes back to that discussion that Sazed and who is it?
Goradel?
Goradel, yeah. Sazed and Goradel had that discussion about the way you could be under the same sort of structure, but you're working for yourself here, and that's the difference. So it's similar but different.
Yeah.
It's not exactly the same, but yes, there was this force. We discussed it in that previous book. There was this force of wanting to go back to what was familiar. And that's just what was taken advantage of here, especially when the alternative was chaos, which is what Set seems to have brought.
Right. Slow Swift is talking about how everyone here knows their place again. And he reveals that the balls are still happening. And Vin is floored by this information.
Yeah. Like she even says, like, excuse me, the world is ending, and he's throwing balls. Like, what?
And on the day that an army arrived, and it's like, it's
Yes.
because even more so, the worse the world gets, the more they're going to bawl.
Yeah, and it's like, you found the cash, good for you. But at the same time, now you're not rationing. That's not rationing. And also, clearly, they get more of the food.
And what happens when it runs out? You cannot ignore the end of the world.
No, you can't. You simply cannot. And I think that might be the discussion that Ellen would want to have with Yeoman. Like, listen, yeah, it sounds nice to you now. You're carrying on, but the world is ending. Maybe Yeoman is also just so cynical and just like, yeah, there's nothing we can do. Maybe,
the
Dorkus,
Lord Ruler will save us.
What if the last message from the Lord Ruler is, yeah, sorry, that this is what you need to do to save the world, and Yeoman determines that is impossible. Therefore, let's just party until the millennium.
Or what if it's just like the most nihilistic message from the Lord Ruler? Something like that all that being said, if I'm dead, you're all pretty much screwed. So
yeah, just enjoy this while you can.
Yeah. I mean, and look, I'm not a scientist, but I vaguely remember high school science class saying something like the sun is expanding and will eventually encompass the earth or something like that. But that's so far off in the future that
what
it's
are we
like,
going to do about it?
Yeah, that we can ignore. That literal world ending disaster, we can let that be for the time being. I'm going to enjoy my ice cream.
Because there is literally nothing we can do.
Right. But
yeah,
the mist is getting stronger day by day, demonstrably.
Yes, this is happening right now. It's how do you ignore it? You're going to be buried. So they're sweeping away the ash, but eventually it's just going to overwhelm everything.
The Titanic is like 3/4 in the water by now.
Yeah. And then they're just sitting there. They're not just playing music. They're dancing.
Yeah. Oh man.
Like so wait, Vin is blown away by the fact that balls are happening. And then she hears that it's on this night itself, which is even another just whoa, you mentioned. So that's just Slow Swift gives an explanation for, that's actually a very good time to show that you don't care. That it's fine.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think of that reasoning?
And I mean, yes. I think
it'll
I think there are people who will buy into that reasoning, especially considering what Slow Swift goes on to say, which is that Yeoman attends these balls personally, which I think he would have to in more of a way than the Lord Ruler does. He says that Yeoman understands the situation more than the Lord Ruler did, the situation being the balls. I don't think the Lord Ruler needed to attend the balls because he's gonna outlive them and has outlived them, and he is their god. Yeoman's not a god to them.
Yeah, and he had minions under him that were doing that were going to the balls and reporting to him.
Yeah.
So yes, there's no need to have personal relationships again as well in mingling and seeing how people are doing. None of that matters exactly because he's immortal. It's like these people are just expendable. Why should I even care? Like everyone that I care about is dead anyway. Like his first Alamancer friends are all dead. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So Vin asks what his weaknesses are. Slow Swift doesn't want to answer. And it's kind of cute how Vin just sort of has this expectation that Slow Swift is going to share whatever information she asks for and is basically a conspirator. Not an informant, but a conspirator.
Yeah, he's on her side. Just she decided.
Yeah. And his response is great. I told you that I like the man-child. What would possess me to give you information to use against him?
She's just like, you're an informant. That's what you do. Sell information. So she's just like, oh, well. But also there's no price. They've never discussed. So Vin's not very good at dealing with informants.
Apparently. And I don't think we've had...
what she wants, but yeah.
Yeah. True. But only because she does have the legitimate, strong argument to back the claim or the cause, her cause. He refers to himself as a storyteller, and then she tries offering him power, prestige, etc., money, and he doesn't want to sell his soul. But then he asks the question, why exactly should I care? That almost felt like it was a deliberate question, like he actually wanted her to give a good answer. And clearly he's open to giving the information because he ends up doing it. So I like to interpret that as he's trying to make her grow in some way as a person.
And also, the growth, and also to figure out whether she is something he should put his hope in. Because he then eventually, as she walks away, he says, like, they say you are going to change the world, fix the world, all of that stuff. So he's trying to figure out if she is on the right track as well, whether he should, pull his lot in with her. And she seems to have answered him satisfactorily.
Yes. And she's got a really wonderful monologue. It starts off with her talking about the end of the world, the earthquakes, the ash, the mist killing. But there's a particular segment I do want you to read, Kitty.
You hate change. I hate it too. But things can't stay the same. And that's well, for when nothing changes in your life, it's as good as being dead.
I mean, that's this chapter in a T. It's the summation of everything that she has been contemplating up to this point. This is the whole book, Change.
It's a great line.
Great. Yeah.
No, it is. And that is what brings out. And she turns to leave then because she's like, well, fine, he's not giving me the information. And I feel like that's what he was looking for. That's what Slow Swift was looking for in her. This fact that she is actually determined. She's not just here on an errand or whatever. And he then also recognizes, or is probably sure, that she's the hero of ages, the person, the one that people are talking about.
Yes.
She's not just a girl. Yeah.
And then we get a very important bit of information. Slow Swift starts articulating the rumors that we just got hints of in the last book about her stopping the ash and turning the sun yellow, and that she is the hero of ages. They call you heir of the survivor, hero of ages. Now, this is the first time anyone outside of herself has called her the hero of ages. That's a big deal. But, and we learn it a little bit later, but Hoyd is in the city. And we had wondered in the last book where these rumors were coming from, and we wondered if it was voices and whispers. Now I'm wondering if it was Hoyd.
Yeah, that makes sense. It could definitely be. And he's adept at manipulating people into and telling stories and whatever. It makes sense to me.
So Vin doesn't deny the rumors, or rather that people say that of her. And she doesn't deny that she's at least going to attempt to save the world. It's a great exchange.
And that results in him sharing his information.
Yes. And that information is essentially that he's only an average leader. In a time of peace, he'd probably be fairly decent. He's evil Dachshund. He can make things run on. He can make the trains run on time.
Yeah, I was thinking of Dachshund when I went through this. I was like, makes things happen too. Yeah.
Yeah. But because the world is ending, we need exceptional people, not average people. Or maybe we need all of the average people.
We need everyone, people of Earth.
Yeah. Slow Swift says Yeoman has some weaknesses. He's calm and honorable, but he has an unfailing belief in the Lord Ruler and the organization that the Lord Ruler set up, even though the Lord Ruler died.
Yeah, Vin is surprised. She's like, but he's dead. Like, why would you have this unfailing belief? Like, he failed you. And Slow Swift has a great response.
Yeoman's a believer. It could be a weakness. It could be a strength. They are frequently willing to do the impossible based off of faith, hoping that faith and providence will see them through. You can manipulate that, Vin.
Mm-hmm.
is basically
Yeah,
what Slow Swift is intimating here.
Yeah. And he literally talks about the survivor. He's like, well, your survivor died, but people still believe in him. So makes sense.
The other weakness is that no one knows where his wealth came from.
Now I'm thinking of Vin's response. So that he's got a lot of wealth. So Vin perks up when she hears that he has a lot of wealth and nobody knows where it came from, because she's like, oh, it's the cash.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it shows on her face.
Yep, it gives it away, and Slow Swift cottons onto it. He doesn't know about the cash specifically, but he's like, you just gave away that you know how he got his wealth, and you're talking to an informant. Maybe be a bit more stoic next time. Vin assumes he has the atium. We don't actually know that.
Yeah, she's assuming that that's what the last cache was going to be of. We don't know. And we still don't know what the Lord Ruler was, if he was using atium to maintain something, or what atium was doing for him. We don't know if that was a thing. That's the big mystery. So
I see 3 options here. 1, the atium was in the cache. I think that's the least likely. 2, the Lord Ruler was using the atium. I think that is middle tier likely. It bounces between second and first. The third option is he was giving it to the Khandra for whatever reason they need it to stop the end of the world.
Maybe that's what they need to do. But yeah. Also, we get, so when he says he's going to go back to his reading, we get what Set is called. Set also has a nickname.
It's Ashweather Set. We've known this.
Oh, sorry. I thought I didn't know his first name. Oh my god. So I thought that was a nickname. Never mind. It sounds interesting, because next to Slow Swift, I was thinking Ashweather. That actually makes sense. It's a nice name. Sorry.
It is. It's a cool name.
Sorry. It's so cool that you forgot it, Chinsia.
I'm trying to remember where it was said in the past, and I don't remember, but I know it has been.
Obviously, yeah. It definitely wasn't. No, now that you've said it, I'm like, yeah, I know what you mean. When you said Ashweather Set, I was like, oh, duh.
Vin turns to leave without paying the guy, and he's like, hey, whoa, pay me. And here's where we get the payoff. Pun. To the setup earlier about stories having a cost. Slow Swift says, I said that a story itself shouldn't be a cost. That's very different from a story costing something.
Yep.
So Vin pays, and she goes to meet the second informant on the list. A beggar named Hoyd.
Interesting.
So at some point, Hoyd left Luthadel and went to Fadrix. Very interesting. I was so hyped for the Vin Hoyd scene. You have no idea how aggravated I was when Vin is like, my spidey senses tingling. I'm getting out of here.
I didn't even get frustrated. I got so scared myself that I was like, cool. I was busy with Vin. I didn't think about having a scene or anything like that. I was just like, no, sounds bad, seems bad. What could have gone wrong around there? Yeah.
Don't trust it. She compares herself to Ellen, who is very scientific and logical and wants to know why. He's willing to walk into a trap if he can understand why it's a trap. And Vin's like, nope, I don't need to know. I don't care about knowing. I'm trusting my gut. I trust Vin's gut as well. I mean, we have an idea that Hoyd is... Like, I don't think Hoyd was going to try and harm Vin in some way, but I don't know. Well, I don't know where I'm going with this tangent anyway, but I'm...
So you trust Vin's guts, but you don't think Hoyd was the danger?
I think that's a possibility.
Hmm.
I don't know. And I think it's one of those things where we're just not gonna know. At least not for a very long time.
I hope we find out in like the next chapter.
Me too.
Is it related to what comes next? Comes after that.
Oh, I definitely think it is.
Hmm.
She starts heading toward the third informant, and she ends up checking out the Steel Ministries building, the Canton of Resource. She reflects, of course, this is where Yeoman has set up his palace. It makes sense because he was in the Canton of Resource, and that's the source of his wealth. So it works.
Yeah, he gets to control access to it. He doesn't to the cache itself, like the underground. He gets to hide it from people, and also it reminds them of his authority from the old world. Like if he moved into something else, it's like, oh, he's moved up in the world, or whatever. It's like, no. He deserves this power. He was here already.
Yeah. Now, on one hand, this means getting to the cache will be more difficult, and I'm 100% certain it's as well protected as could be expected. On the other hand, it could make it very easy. Elend and Vin, instead of going to a ball, could meet him at the canton, and the two could split up. Elend could go to his diplomatic meeting, and then Vin can go fight her way into the cache to get a glimpse of the words. But that would be a declaration of war, probably.
Yeah. Well, it would cause war, definitely.
Yeah. So she continues on from there, and she realizes that she's being followed by a Mistborn. And she increases her speed. She does some shenanigans, but the Mistborn is not backing down. And she notes that the Mistborn is following her very recklessly. But then she realizes, oh, it's not a Mistborn. It's a mist creature. She thinks. We don't know for certain.
Yeah, I don't think she realizes it. She wonders about it because the allomantic pulse has disappeared just immediately as soon as she moved backwards. So she's going towards the gates, and it's following her. Also, she's pierced its copper cloud. That's what she thinks it is. She's pierced the copper cloud. She thinks, okay, it doesn't know I know about it. She increases her pace, but not too much to show that she knows she's being followed. And then I don't know what she was trying to do, but she does something unexpected by pushing herself away from the huge gates. And as soon as she does that, then the pulses disappear. Is that because the Mistborn was actually attacked or something by Hoyd or whatever? Or what happened to the thing? And that makes her think of it as a mist wraith.
At this point, I wonder if there's a connection between Hoyd and the mist creature.
Hoyd knows things. Like he considering what, like the end of what's it, the Way of Kings, like he just knows stuff, and we don't know how. So it would make sense that he somehow has some sort of connection.
Yeah.
I don't think he is the mist wraith, the mist thing, but maybe he has communication with it. We don't know, like through his music. I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting because Hoyd had a pretty big role in Way of Kings, bigger than I would have expected based off of him in the Mistborn series and in Emperor's Soul. So I kind of expected him to have a small role here. At the start of like the first mention of his name in this book, I thought, okay, that's just going to be it. We're going to mention Hoyd's name and then it's not going to happen at all. But it, I guess, is possible that he'll play a bigger role in the book to come.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
And we would like to not know until we know.
Yeah. And Vin leaves the city, and that's the end of the chapter.
Yeah. So she's making her way out of there, because that's just weird. I don't know. I don't know if it's a mist creature. I don't know if it's a mistborn that got attacked suddenly. I don't know. I would assume the worst, and I think the worst is mistborn.
Probably, yeah.
But then again, mist creature deciding to kill you. And she hasn't seen it. She hasn't seen it since the Well of Ascension.
Yeah. See, I mean, I'm still expecting there to be Inquisitors in the city working for Yeoman, although Slow Swift didn't mention them at all. But it would make sense, not because Ruin wants anything to do with it, but because this is the continuation of the Final Empire, and they were a part of the Final Empire, and Ruin would probably want to manipulate that in some small way. But I don't think this was an Inquisitor.
I am wondering if it's even possible. Maybe I think Ruin, yes, you're right. Ruin would want to manipulate things through the Inquisitors that remain in place. But I feel like instantly Ruin was in control of all Inquisitors when he was
Yes.
when he was released.
I believe he is.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I guess nobody would notice the difference between an Inquisitor following Ruin and an Inquisitor just doing what the Lord Rulet says.
Yeah.
So it's possible. It's possible that they're in disguise.
Yeah, Ruin would basically be like, hey, play along here. All right?
And unless he wants all Inquisitors to be in control of Kolos, and that's what he wants. Oh, we could then get an Inquisitor here that tries to take control of their Kolos. Oh gosh, yeah.
Very. I'm excited for the future.
Yep.
Anything else to say?
Like the video.
If you like, thank you all for tuning in. Have a great rest of your week. Subscribe to that darn Kita if you get a chance, because she's got a great channel.
Subscribe to this channel, because it's great.
If you like, there's also a Discord. And we'll see you next time. Okay, thanks, bye.
Bye.